What does hope mean? In the past couple of years, I have been working to achieve a long-standing dream to contribute my quota to humanity. This has taken many forms in my life, particularly in criminal justice, education, and climate activism. I have found a way to make all this work while still being a wife and a mother. I was going into the prison yard when my dad called me on the phone. Instinctively, I picked up and responded, "Daddy, I'm in prison. I will call you back." I didn't think it through. I had dropped my phone at the entrance, and on coming out, I had more than 20 calls from my dad. I called back asking, "Daddy, what happened?" And he responded, "What are you doing in prison?" I had joined the NGO Hope Behind Bars as a way to contribute to the criminal justice system. I was working with victims of wrongful incarceration and people awaiting trial. This day was one of the visits to the correctional facility that made my dad think I was in prison for real. Walking into the prison yard, you see people you know have so much to offer the world, but are restrained behind bars in need of hope. They look at me thinking, this person can help me. Like the young student who spent 5 years in prison after being arrested wrongfully as a suspected armed robber, some get help, but I am not able to help all of them. When I was in secondary school, I saw many children in my community who didn't go to school. They loitered at home during school hours. Most of them were not in school because of a fee, the Parents-Teacher Association fee or some other fee. The fee ranged from 500 naira and 1000 naira, all less than $1 for each child. They were unable to pay. I began to save my lunch money in school to help pay for these kids. I did the best I could, and for those I couldn't help, I gathered them around and taught them basic literacy. My aunt did the same for me. Her generosity ensured I got the education I needed. I'd never forget Emmanuel. He had no knowledge of books or words before I started to teach him. It wasn't smooth from start, but he was diligent and kept singing the new 2-letter words he had learned every day. It seemed like a waste of time until one day, celebration broke out in the compound when Emmanuel recited all the 2-letter words he had learned. The reception from the audience in the compound made him feel on top of the world, and his mother got emotional and cried with him. And there was I, feeling so proud. I often saw my grandmother go to the farm whenever we traveled to visit her. She would always complain about the harshness of the sun and the smallness of her yields. One day, she came back home with the cassava she harvested, and it looked like shrunken roots. I asked my aunt, why are grandma's yields always so miserable? Is it that she doesn't know how to plant properly? She replied that climate change is affecting the quality of her yields and reducing the fertility of the soil. The word climate change stuck with me. Another day, I was with my grandma, and a lady had just delivered a baby on the farm. They needed shade for her and her baby, but on this farm, there were no trees. The only option was to use cocoyam leaves to wrap the mother and child. I thought to myself, this is so bad. I became interested in afforestation and climate activism as a product of this event and what climate change was doing to my grandmother's farm yields. I've always wanted to be a lawyer, but life had other plans. But when I found Hope Behind Bars, an NGO that focused on amplifying the voices of people, I realized that I didn't need to become a lawyer to become a change maker. I started the Girls for Climate Action Initiative, an NGO to respond to the climate change crisis. I wanted to bring back the forest and educate the girl child alongside. We go around communities to engage in tree planting, and sometimes we see students who are not in school. It is heartbreaking to find out that as little as less than $1 is sometimes what keeps them away from school. Every incarcerated person I'm unable to get justice for. Every girl child whose school fees go unpaid. Every time I experience the adverse effect of climate change on the environment. It weighs on me, but I've learned that no one is perfect, and no one can solve the world's entire problems. Knowing this helps me cope. I have a husband who supports me and plays a part in all the work that I do. At some point in the life of a lady, you are flying like a bird. Once you perch on a particular tree, you either depend on the tree not to fall or to shake you a little to keep flying. It's a blessing to have a family that is both for me. You need that in this walk of hope.